So when you hear the letters NFT, what's the first thing that pops into your head? Let's be real, for most of us, it's probably million-dollar digital art, maybe some pixelated avatars, and just a ton of market hype. But what if I told you that's only a tiny, tiny piece of the puzzle? We're going to dive in because beyond all that noise, NFTs are quietly evolving into some seriously powerful tools that could completely reshape our digital lives. And that really brings us to the big question we're tackling here. Are NFTs just a speculative bubble for digital art, or are they actually a foundational technology for, well, pretty much everything? We're going to look right past those crazy headlines and start uncovering the real-world value that's finally starting to bubble to the surface. Okay, before we go any further, let's just clear the air. You've probably heard all of this before, right? That NFTs are just expensive JPEGs, that they're all scams waiting to happen, that owning one is legally confusing, or that their value is completely tied to the wild swings of the crypto market. And look, while there are definitely risks, these ideas completely miss the bigger picture. We're about to see exactly why. Right, so to get past the hype, we have to understand where an NFT actually gets its value from. And spoiler alert, it's not just about a pretty picture. It's about some really basic principles of ownership in a world that is becoming more and more digital every single day. So here's the absolute game changer. You can take a screenshot of a picture a million times, and each copy is identical. But an NFT, it has scarcity and uniqueness literally built into its code, and it's all verified on a blockchain. This creates a permanent, transparent record that proves you, and only you, own that specific digital thing. That simple idea is what makes true digital ownership possible for the very first time. So when we talk about NFT value, it really breaks down into two main camps. You've got collectability and you've got utility. Now, collectibles, like that digital art, they get all the headlines. But utility, that's where the quiet revolution is really happening. In this world, an NFT isn't just art, it's a key, it's a ticket, it's a certificate. Its value comes from what it lets you do, not just what it looks like. You see, an NFT's value is actually a pretty complex mix. Yeah, rarity still matters, for sure. But look at what's becoming way more important: the community that's built around it and its real-world utility. This is a huge sign that the market is growing up. It's moving away from just pure speculation and starting to reward projects that have actual long-term functional benefits. All right, so how does this all translate into practical, real-world tools that you or I could actually use? This is where we leave the art gallery behind and step into the world of functional digital assets that are already solving real problems today. Just imagine a gym membership or a VIP concert pass that is impossible to forge, one that you truly own and that you could actually sell on an open market if you wanted to. Well, that's a membership NFT. It's basically a secure digital key that proves you belong, and it shifts the power of access away from some central company and puts it directly into your hands. Businesses are also completely rethinking customer loyalty. Instead of getting points that just expire, what if you got a unique digital collectible for being a loyal customer? An NFT that unlocks special perks and that you actually own. And why does that matter? Because it transforms loyalty from just a simple discount into a real, tangible asset. And that creates a much deeper connection between a brand and its community. Another huge application is using NFTs as service enablers. And here, the value is 100% in what it does. Think about event tickets for a second. NFT tickets can basically eliminate fraud and scalping. Or think about your professional certifications. An NFT version can't be faked, which makes it way easier and faster for an employer to verify that you have the skills you say you have. You see this playing out everywhere. In gaming, you can finally own your in-game items, your skins, your weapons, and trade them, instead of just borrowing them from the game company. In education, your diploma can become an unforgeable digital credential. In entertainment, it could be anything from a digital ticket to a verifiable share of a song's royalties. The common thread through all of this? It's all about giving ownership back to you, the user. Okay, so we've seen the practical tools that are being used today. Now, let's zoom out a little bit and get a little more futuristic. Let's talk about new digital worlds and totally new ways of managing who we are online. So, welcome to the metaverse. In virtual worlds like Decentraland, plots of land are actually NFTs. And just like real estate in the physical world, you can buy a unique, verifiable piece of digital property. Its location, its size, what you build on it, all of that contributes to its value. And owning this land isn't just some novelty, it's a productive asset. People are already generating real income by leasing out their virtual space to brands, hosting virtual concerts, and even running digital ad billboards. This is a brand new frontier for digital entrepreneurs, and believe it or not, it's happening right now. So beyond property, NFTs could completely redefine our digital identity. Imagine having an NFT that acts as your digital passport, holding all of your verifiable credentials and skills. Why is this such a big deal? Because instead of dozens of different companies holding little pieces of your data, you would own and control your entire digital reputation, and you decide exactly what you share and with who. I mean, think about it. Your professional skills, certified as NFTs, become instantly verifiable to anyone. A great example that's already out there is the Ethereum Name Service, or ENS. It lets you link a simple, human-readable name like Jane.eth to all of your online profiles, creating this unified digital presence that you control, not some giant tech platform. So, where is all this actually heading? Let's wrap things up by looking at the key trends that are probably going to shape the entire next decade of digital ownership. This timeline really shows you just how fast the space is moving. It all started with that big art boom back in 2021. Now, we're firmly in the era of utility and gaming. The next logical steps are deeper integrations with things like intellectual property and personal identity, until eventually, NFTs could just become a boring, foundational part of our mainstream digital lives. If you look at where the real growth is, it isn't in collectible art anymore. It's in gaming and metaverses, it's in tokenizing intellectual property, and it's in building secure systems for digital identity. This is where the technology is going because these are the areas that solve really complex problems and create entirely new economies. This quote from one of our sources it really nails the core idea. NFTs aren't just a passing fad or some tech novelty. They represent a fundamental shift in how we think about ownership and value in a world that is becoming more digital by the second. And so we'll end with a question for you to think about. As our lives move more and more online, could the ability to truly own our digital assets, our property, and our identities, could that be the next great frontier? The technology is here, and its story is really just beginning.